Hey, this is Mark with Dine.digital. Welcome to The Dish. We're so glad to have you guys join today. And Dine.digital is here to help the restaurant industry. And right now we're doing that through just giving publicity through the show and any other way we can. And today we are very delighted to have Kim from Nightbird with us today. Welcome to the show, Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Excellent. So we were just chatting before. You're super busy these days. It looks a lot different than what you've done in the past. But first and foremost, just kind of give us your story about what's going on and, your story about Nightbird at first.
About Nightbird pre-COVID
Yeah,
or
what would Nightbird look like, or what was the story before COVID? Yeah.
Yeah, Nightbird pre this is a small tasting menu restaurant in Hayes Valley in San Francisco. We also had a small speakeasy, about 4-seat bar where we do craft cocktails, and kind of they work symbiotically. Every 2 weeks we'd have a menu that would have like a theme, and we'd follow it. I go to the farmers market every day, and just cooking every day. A little different now. Now we're a soup kitchen, I would say. We have chosen the route of cooking for public housing, churches, and hospitals until we can kind of figure out what the government's going to lay out for us and what we're allowed to do, in the next few months.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more of that story here later on, which will be great. So tell us how you personally got started in the restaurant industry.
I have been in the restaurant business since I was about 15, so pretty much my whole life. I think it just kind of came from really loving to cook and make people happy. And, everyone, would love to just have food, and you can see the instant gratification of making people happy. And then it just kind of turned into being able to be creative and not be at a desk, and be able to, work with my hands. And it was able to make it so I could come to San Francisco, and I've been here almost 20 years now, cooking. It's awesome.
Yeah, very good. So when everything's back to normal, so to speak, what can your guests expect when they come to Nightbird?
I wish I knew the exact answer. I can tell you what I hope. I hope that we can, when it's safe and people feel comfortable, that we can kind of go back to normal, because I designed the restaurant, the kitchen, specifically for this concept. It'd be very, very hard to do anything else. So they can expect everything that's coming from the farmers market, and me, sourcing everything from our local farmers and fishermen, and supporting our community. And we try to offer a tasting menu that is a little bit more playful. We don't have tablecloths. It's a little bit louder music. We try to have a little bit of fun, so it's not so precious. My number one is just making sure the food's delicious. And then everything kind of follows after that. That's kind of what we've always stuck by. I want, craveable, delicious, technique-driven food. So I can only hope that in the next few months that we can really start pushing to be like that again, and people feel comfortable sitting in our restaurant.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it is going to get back to some level of normal. I'm sure of it. You've kind of told us a little bit about it, but give us some more idea of the uniqueness of Nightbird.
I really wanted to strive to make Nightbird, sorry, I'm exhausted. Nightbird, a neighborhood restaurant, even though we're a tasting menu. So we do 10 courses, and it kind of went in the direction of 5 main courses and then 5 what we call reflection courses. And these reflection courses are utilizing what would sometimes be considered the waste of the prior course. And it's to utilize and not over, to have, be as sustainable as we can, but also create the conversation with our guests to not throw away like the carrot tops, or make sure that you utilize every single part of the animal. And it's been really receptive. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now, I think, since we opened. And it's a good way just to get creative with what would normally be thrown away, and also connecting with our guests on a environmental, I guess, and sustainable level.
Awesome. Very cool. So you mentioned your menu changed a lot. Is there something that typically you would say this is the type of food that someone needs to try, or what's something that people can't miss when they come to your restaurant?
Well, there's one thing that's never changed from day one, and it's our amuse, and it's a poached quail egg with fried leeks and brown butter hollandaise. It's definitely most people's favorite, and it kind of symbolizes the whole bird kind of theme we have going on, and it always is on. Along with our bread courses are pretty awesome. We do 2 bread courses, and they change from now and again, but for the most part, we always have a fermented farro sourdough that with cultured butter, and we also do Parker House rolls, which I've been doing for a long time, and they're always kind of the winners.
Very nice. So someone's coming into San Francisco in your area particularly, what would you kind of advice would you give them to experience the community there?
I mean, I love San Francisco because you can have a little bit of everything within an hour or within a 5-minute bike ride. You can be in the Presidio and it can be peaceful and quiet and amazing. You can be in Hayes Valley and it's all small, like artisanal, no more than 7 shops can. It's basically no corporations can be there. It's really nice. You can go to the Mission, have amazing tacos. Like you can just be in so many different parts of what could be the country in one 7x7 square mile area. I just think it's really special. The weather's beautiful. The people, I mean, are amazing. The art, it's, I'm really rooting for San Francisco right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great place. I have yet to visit there. My wife was born in California, but it was in the Air Force Base in the desert. I forgot now all of a sudden, but I think that's farther south. But
Camp Pendleton, maybe. I actually grew up in Southern California, and there's a big base down there, right in Orange County, where I grew up.
yeah, it's I can't remember right now. It's not the Pendleton one, but it's down there somewhere. But yeah, that's
Really
on the list of things to do. Come see you guys. Very cool.
We'd love to have you. Hopefully soon.
Right on. Yeah, we got to get back to traveling. So someone that is starting a restaurant, like I said, with everybody, besides starting during a pandemic, what piece of advice would you give them?
Don't do it. No. If someone was starting a restaurant in San Francisco and this situation wasn't happening, I would just say, like, really read your community and be a part of it. Make sure that you are supporting all the people that you want to support you. It's really difficult. I'm actually technically in the middle of an expansion. It's been 2 years it's taken me to get from starting my permitting process to construction. Still, even in this situation, it wasn't happening. It still wouldn't be happening. So planning a lot, making sure that you hire the correct people to help you get everything you need to be able to open a restaurant. And then also just cook good food and make sure it's seasonal.
Yeah, very nice. All right. So if you could change anything about the restaurant industry, what would that look like?
I think there's a lot of struggles in our business, whether it's the different pay from front of the house to the back of the house, from, battling with cities and how high and slow, slim margins that we work with. But I would have to say that if I could really, the thing that always kind of I work on and try to push is people's perception of value of what we do. I don't think that everyone, when they come to a restaurant, realizes that, it's not just the piece of chicken on the plate that you're paying for. It's the glass of wine. It's the education of someone who's been in this business for 30 years and put that wine list together. It's the electricity, the chair, the dishwasher, the flowers, the hand soap in the bathroom. It's so many things tied into that one plate of chicken. And it's really hard getting somebody who works really hard for their money, obviously, and it's expensive to go out. We're one of the cheapest tasting menus in San Francisco, and we're $145 a person. So that's a lot of money, and we totally understand that. But it's just, I would love for people to really understand what it's very encompassing, and it takes a lot to get that chicken to your plate. And I'd love just to be able to open people's minds up more and make them understand that.
Right. So what do you love the most about being a restaurateur?
I think it stems from why I got into this business in the beginning. being able to be creative and work with my hands. And, I personally go to the farmer's market every day, and I talk with the person who, grew that apple, and it's just such a good feeling, and it's really inspiring. And then to see that transfer from the farmer's market to my restaurant and be able to teach young cooks how to transform that into something for a guest, and then see the guest experience it like right away and automatically be excited about it, and celebrate their birthdays and proposals, and be that the noise that you hear in a restaurant, it's special. We miss it right now.
Yeah. That's one of the things I continue to hear is just the people and the relationships that are built that the restaurateurs are missing out on right now. So
Yeah, for sure.
I get it. So tell us, we previewed a little bit earlier, but give us a little bit more detail on what you're doing in the community right now to help out during this difficult time.
Yeah. When this all started out, we didn't want to be I'm more of a let's think on it for a while person instead of just making a rash decision. And so we chose to not fire or furlough our staff, and keep paying their insurance, and decided that through that, I am a part of the Bay Area Hospitality Coalition, which then the main thing that the chefs kind of broke off into groups, and what I focused on was the farms. And through working through the farms and the pizza, I was able to meet a group of people who had started a nonprofit called SF New Deal. And this literally within days started when the shutdown happened, of being able to pay small restaurants money to cook for people who couldn't leave their home, public housing, churches. And I was able to rationalize bringing my staff in and, putting myself in danger and choosing not to capitalize on a crisis, and being able to keep about 4,000 people in their home every day by us being able to cook made me feel better about it, I guess. And then also being able to work with Frontline Foods, which is working with hospitals and cooking for the frontline workers, which also feels amazing. We bring them food at 8:00 at night when they're changing shifts. They've all been there for 16 hours. And the response from them has been overwhelming. Cards, Yelp reviews, it's helping them, and that helps us.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you for using your gifts to make the world a better place, especially during this time. It's a little bit dark, but light shines brightest during the darkness. So we're glad that you're doing your part. And we've heard a lot of people say this, right? We can all do this together, that sentiment, and we all have a part to play. So that's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you for what you're doing and talking with people and getting the stories out there.
Yeah, I'm glad to. This has been fun for me. So because of the change in how things are operating right now, our dish is going to be virtual. And so we're going to take a look at your IG. And while we're talking about IG, let's go ahead and throw up your IG on the screen here, as well as ours. So please, as you guys are tuning in, watching this on the recording or live, check out Nightbird SF on Instagram, and you can find their website, and they've got a GoFundMe right now for your employees, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And, I know a lot of restaurants are doing that right now, which is good to try to continue to help as much as possible. So please check them out, and we're going to jump over here to the IG, share that out. 1 second, I'm going to show it. All right, so let's see. I'm going to find a way to make it bigger. Not me. I don't need to be bigger. Okay, it's kind of hard to see like that. There's a picture-in-picture situation, but all right, I will basically drop out. So I'm not going to be here for a second, but okay. I'll scroll through the Instagram, and you can talk about what we're seeing. Okay, so I'll be quiet for a little bit.
Okay. So obviously, if you look at the, okay, that was one of our last menus in December, and it is a Flannery beef that we slow roasted with some thinly shaved matsutake mushrooms. And in the background, you can kind of see smoking local pine spruce leaves, and then we jus tableside with some truffles on top. And we serve it tableside, kind of have it come out smoky, so it kind of brings on all the senses, not just like through your eyes and flavor. So it's I miss cooking like that. Sorry, I haven't looked at this in a while. When we were talking earlier, I was kind of talking about our my personal, so I'm sorry. We have that dish right there. So this is, I think, in the summer. So it was a tomato kind of carpaccio, and then we got spot prawns, and we lightly poached them in a bay oil, which is, obviously all over California. We worked with some amazing farmers like Tucker Taylor, and he grows that for us. It's called fucoid. It's an ice plant, so it has nice acidity and salt. And then we made a sauce out of all the bodies and kind of made it into a foam. And then the reflection was the head was deep fried and served with like a little bit of a smoky tomato dipping sauce. So kind of going back to our whole idea of utilizing every part of the animal. I really like that dish. Thank you for taking me down memory lane right now. We had a color menu for Pride, which was really fun. So every dish was just one color. And this was a whitefish. I believe we used halibut, and we lightly poached it in oil. And then we got raw asparagus and zucchinis and alliums and shaved them and roasted them, and then also made a powder out of all of the scrap, and then beautiful greens. And then there was a little piece of the skin that we dehydrated and fried. So trying to, again, utilize everything. And yeah, I really enjoyed the color menu just because it's so much fun to just really focus on one, and your attention all goes to it, and it's really pretty. That was the first course on the color menu. So it was a scallop crudo with smoky roe. And then we got carrots and citrus and made a consomme with nasturtium flowers and then raw carrots shaved. And it was just really light, refreshing. And then the consomme got poured table side, and just a nice, like, bright way to start off your meal. And then I think the reflection was a fermented carrot consomme with a little bit of the oil on top.
Very cool. Thanks for giving us a little tour of the menu. It's really interesting. The colors are awesome, and the presentation is
Thank you.
Excelente. Bilingual, by the way. So yeah, very cool. Once again, everyone, please go to the IG down at the bottom of the screen there, Nightbirds SF, and then while you're on Instagram, please follow us to dine.digital. We'll be continuing to try to talk to as many restaurants as will have us, so that they can get their story too. Any parting words that you'd like to share, Kim?
Well, thank you for having me on. And I know it's a tough time for everybody right now, and just know that, we're going to work our best to make sure that we're here for everybody when we come out of it, and just support all your small local restaurants and businesses, and hopefully we'll all be here for each other soon.
Yes, awesome. And thanks for watching today, everyone. Please stay tuned as we continue to have great conversations with wonderful restaurants and wonderful people. So everyone, have a great weekend, keep safe, and hopefully we'll be out at these restaurants sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. Have a nice day.